Hello, everyone. Today is day zero, transplant day. Now, it's already toward the end of the day. I'm going to catch you guys up to date of everything that's happened. I received 3 days of, well, initially I got 2 days of the Theotepa. That's in my previous video. I received 3 days of the busulfan and fludarabine cocktails. That had an effect on me for a little bit. That during my resting days, which is basically from Sunday until it was supposed to be yesterday, where I was supposed to receive the stem cells, I think that day -2, I was like very nauseous. They gave me some antifungal pills. They were just giant pills, and I didn't have a good reaction. I was just nauseous that day. Everything that I looked at, sweet foods, if I looked at an apple, I would just get nauseous. So, but for the most part, I have been good, fine, positive energy. Everything's been amazing. I was told that these stem cells were supposed to arrive for me on my stem cell day, on my day zero, at 11 p.m. that night. And when the doctors were considering whether or not they should actually administer these stem cells at 11 p.m., they decided they're going to push it off another day, so that everyone could be here on time at a normal hour, and they could just follow all the protocols, because I am part of a clinical trial. And then we just make sure that everything was on the books, wasn't too late to deal with any kind of emergencies. 11 p.m. is just late, even in a hospital. So what I ended up doing is I ended up observing 2 day -1s. So I had a day -1, take one. Then I was told the next day, which should have been my day zero, I was told that it's just going to be pushed off for another day. So I kept that day -1 as a take two. And today was my day zero. Because I knew that this is something that was happening, I really didn't sleep so much last night. There was a huge amount of anticipation. Just the gratitude and the outpouring and the love that's coming from the hospital, and the fact that someone donated this, and what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do with these extra years that are now being added onto my life? I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I kind of like stayed up the whole night. I mean, I was resting in bed and I was trying to sleep, but I could hear like what's going on in the hallways with the nurses, and I just didn't sleep. By the time morning came around, nurses woke me up around 5:30 in the morning. I Part of the routine here is they wake me up at 5:30. They weigh me. They draw my bloods from my central line, which is right here. Here's my chemo shirt, and you can, if I can just pull this out even on camera, it's kind of weird. This is my central line, and by the way, this chemo shirt's been amazing. So they wake me up at 5:30. They weigh me. They draw my bloods. They put a special cover to cover my dressing over here, so that when I take a shower, it doesn't necessarily get wet. So they put on a cover. While I'm in the shower, they sanitize my room. They change the linens. They change. They. I don't think they mop the floors, but they just do like a surface sweep of all the surfaces that I might touch, and they clean those as well. By the time I come out of the shower, I take off the special dressing. I have to use these special wipes. They give me about 6 wipes. It's called HCQ wipes. I'm not sure if I can look it up, or maybe I'll post it in my notes over here. But the nurses told me that you use these wipes, you live. You don't use these wipes, you die. So like the difference between mortality and not is whether or not you use these disinfectant wipes, and that's after the shower. So I come out, they do my vitals, they check, again, this is already like 6 a.m. They check my vitals, blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen levels, and my temperature. And that's happening multiple times, like 5 or 6 times over the course of the day. During the day of my transplant, which was today, during the actual transplant process, they were actually they connected me to this to the vitals machine, and there were some vitals they were actually collecting live in real time for the entire duration, and they were monitoring me that entire time while I was receiving these stem cells. But even for like an extra hour afterwards, they were collecting additional vital information the entire time. They just want to know, like, is your heart rate dropping? Is there an adjustment? Is there like how's your body processing these new cells as they're coming into your body? So just going back to the morning routine. So I got a shower, I got dressed. Part of my routine over here, because I'm a religious Jew, is that I pray in the morning. I pray with the sunrise. Sunrise was about 6:50 a.m. So I start early so that a certain portion of my prayer coincides with that sunrise. After that, I got super tired. I got super tired because I didn't sleep that night, and I had done everything that I really needed to do over the course of the day. I mean, you get up, you take a hot shower, you pray, you're just kind of wiped. The nurses came in and decided to give me pre-meds for the stem cell transplant. So the stem cell transplant was scheduled for something like 8 o'clock. They gave me these pre-meds around 7:15, 7:30. It's supposed to be like a half hour before. And including the pre-meds, they gave me some Tylenol, they gave me a certain steroid, and they gave me some Benadryl. And some of those were like a pill format. I just swallowed it. And some of that was connected through my central line, and it had an immediate effect, like immediate. My mouth went dry, and I was already starting feeling woozy. I had a feeling that when I would go through the stem cell transplant process, I would just be sleeping through it because it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I had been up the entire night, and this Benadryl would probably knock me out. It happens to be that I ended up staying up for that process, but later on, like maybe like an hour after the stem cell transplant, I just knocked out. I was tired. I was exhausted. And it wasn't just a stem cell transplant. It's the fact that I was up the entire time, and this had been something like a very emotional moment for me, that all this time, all this prep, everything that's been going on in my life has come to this moment, that I am now the recipient of someone's generosity and all the work and support from my community and from the hospital, from the nurses team, and so forth. It just became like a very emotional thing. And all the nurses had to be in here during the entire process of the stem cell transplant. Because I'm a part of a clinical trial, the way it came in, it didn't look like a bag of blood, by the way. It was like a bag of clear, it looked like saline solution, ultimated, maybe like a little bit yellowish, but it came in the form of 2 bags. And the nurses were standing around the entire time. They had to be present the entire time, and they were monitoring my vitals the entire process of the delivery of these stem cells. And the nurses just called out loud, start of stem cell delivery, 8:24. So, stop at 9:24. They basically like announced the times at the start and the stop. When the flush was complete, it was like very like straightforward with the protocol. It wasn't like emotional, like everyone's like singing happy birthday. It wasn't like that. But for me, I knew what was going on, and I was emotional. So, but I wasn't necessarily like crying, out loud. I was just like, I knew what was happening and what the impact of what this meant for me. It took maybe about 50 minutes from beginning to end to receive these 2 bags, and it went totally fine. Afterwards, the nurses just kind of disconnected me. I got a flush. They disconnected me, and they didn't want me to like get up and just start like dancing around. They wanted me to lay in bed, relax. They're going to continue monitoring my vitals for about an extra hour, and during that time, I just decided to. I was tired, and I decided to take a nap. After about an hour, I woke up. I was a little bit disoriented, just because. Not because of the stem cell delivery, but because of my own sleeping patterns were off. I just didn't get a proper amount of sleep that night, and I was a little bit emotional. So I'm still catching up on a little bit of sleep, and I think tonight I'll make it an early night. But for the most part, the stem cell transplant delivery was perfect. Today was just been a restful day. You can see I'm full of energy, and everything's great. I had a great meal over the course of the day, and everything's awesome. So I know that the worst is yet to come, that as these stem cells graft into my body, it's going to draw energy from the body, and it's going to make me weak. I'm going to have headache and nausea. Not necessarily so, but I'm anticipating this. So again, the fever, the nausea, all these things are going to slowly kick in as these stem cells find their way and acclimate it within my body. So for right now, I'm full of strength, and I'm taking advantage of that. And when I can't, I'll lay in this bed over here, right here, right next to me. So that's everything for my day 0. Tomorrow we start our day 1. Everything's been awesome and amazing, and hopefully it continues. Hopefully, even after I'm done past my day 14, and everything is at a big decline, my body will hopefully regenerate all the healthy stuff that it needs. So I'm thinking the next 2 weeks are going to be hard. I'm hoping to post more videos during this time. As long as I'm active and I'm able to, I will do so. But if not, I'm going to be in that bed, and I'm going to be wishing I don't even have like a YouTube channel. So anyways, hit like and subscribe, follow me, and hopefully we keep you guys updated as I continue along with this bone marrow transplant journey. It's not a bone marrow transplant, it's a stem cell transplant journey. So that's what it is for right now. All right, have a good night, everyone. Love you. Bye-bye.